Welcome everyone to the 20th session of the Podium TED Talk series brought to you by Asiata Digital Labs. We are delighted to have you with us today as we embark on an exciting journey into the world of software development with our brand new series, TED Talks, A Journey into Software Development. In this session, we will delve into the critical topic of secured software development lifecycle and its benefits, exploring the essential role it plays in ensuring robust and resilient software systems. Our speakers for this session comprise of 3 professionals, each bringing a wealth of knowledge and experience to the podium. First and foremost, allow me to introduce Shelan Peiris, Head of CEG, Software Engineering, and Senior Architect, holding a BSc Honours in Computing from the University of Bolton, UK, and a Diploma in FinTech from the London School of Business and Social Sciences. Joining Shelan is Sudath Jayakodi, a Senior Software Engineer with 5 years of hands-on experience in the software engineering field. Sudath graduated with a BSc Honours Information Technology from the University of Moratuwa. Joining the 2 other speakers, we have Sudharshan Shelvanayagam, an architect in software engineering with a BSc Honours in Computing. As we embark on this Tech Tales adventure, we invite you to absorb the valuable insights our speakers have to offer. Without further ado, let us hand over the reins to our speakers.
Thank you, Shwara.
Yeah.
So hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So today we are actually excited to share insights into an essential aspect of software development. So I guess when you check on the audience, there will be people from different disciplines like BA, QA, UI, UX, project management, and from software engineering. So we'll be talking about this insightful topic of secure software development lifecycle, or which you can call it as SDLC. So for today's session, so myself, I'm Shelan. So we have Sudharshan and Sudath. So who are from software engineering background. So we are actually techies. We are doing software engineering stuff in ADL. So we will be speaking on the mentioned topic of software secure software development lifecycle. So basically, the agenda for today would be there will be introduction, then importance of secure software development lifecycle, then what kind of phases we have in secure software development lifecycle. Then we'll be walking through on the benefits of secure software development lifecycle, and there will be some case studies which we have experienced, and there will be best practices which you need to follow on while when you're dealing with the secure software development lifecycle. So this is the agenda for today. Finally, so we'll be having kind of a Q&A session as well. Okay, so let me continue. So when you talk about secure software development lifecycle, I think most of you all know about software development lifecycle, right? So if you search in the internet about secure software development lifecycle, so you will be getting a lot of articles and blogs. So there are a lot of articles in the internet where you can learn about secure software development lifecycle. But now let's say if you take the articles, there are the writers, they have different types of interpretation on the secure software development lifecycle. But today's session will be based on our experience, because like myself, Sudath, Sudharshan, we have 10+ years of experience on software engineering side. So we will be talking about the secure software development lifecycle based on our experience, because we have worked on multiple projects in multiple domains. So we'll be sharing our experience on how the SDLC works and how it was important to us while we were executing the projects, and it will be mostly important for you guys as well when you're executing a project in whatever your company, and also how it will beneficial in our day-to-day life in our projects, because we all from software engineering backgrounds. So our day-to-day work is like kind of executing projects or products. So basically, I should say, like in my sessions, like I'm not a person who like to focus on one-way communication sessions. So since this is a webinar, there are some limitations. So we'll be trying to focus on getting some interaction from your side as well. So we'll be putting some polls. So sure, will publish some polls, so you can answer those by voting that. Just try to get more interactive with us. So I guess the session will be more interesting. So let's see what is software development lifecycle is, right? So maybe now I have like conducted 20 plus sessions for newcomers. So when I ask them what is software development lifecycle, so I am getting a lot of different ideas from different people. But the software development lifecycle is kind of a cost-effective and time-efficient process that development team use to design and build high-quality software. So when you are a software development team, so the objective of your team is to design the software and build a high-quality software. So basically, the goal of the software development lifecycle is to minimize project risk through forward planning, so that software meets whatever the customer expectations they have requested. So in software development lifecycle, the main objective is to deliver quality software with whatever the customer needs. Then during the implementation and beyond, you have to follow whatever the process you're going to follow in software development lifecycle. Right. So first question, I will be asking. Let's say now, if I ask you in SDLC, how many phases are there in SDLC, right? So that, because like I have done 20 plus sessions, so I'll be getting different types of answers. So from this audience also, since we have a lot of people, I would like to request you all. So there will be a poll asking how many phases are there. Just vote it with your correct answer. So we'll try who are the people who are answering with the correct answer. Sure. So let's take maximum of 30 to 1 minute time for one poll.
Yes, give me a moment. I am sending it out now.
So I guess everyone knows about what is software development lifecycle, because like it's kind of a buzzword, right? So you learn about what is software development lifecycle, but if I ask you what are the phases, then so I'll be getting a lot of answers. Like it's not accurate. So you can answer this. So how many phases are there in SDLC, software development lifecycle? So the audience might have different types of answers. It's okay. Just try to be interactive and answer response to this poll. Sure, are we? Yeah. So there are still 5 completions. So everyone just try to be interactive and response to the poll. So we'll give another like 30 seconds time. Okay, sure, right. Let's give another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we'll see the results, right? So most of them, around 71%, say it's 6 phases, and around 26% says like there are only 5 phases, but only 3% said only 4 phases. So actually, when you check on software development lifecycle, so there are 6 phases. When it will start from requirement gathering and analysis, when you can combine the planning session phase as well. Then the second would be the design. Third would be implementation, development. Then fourth would be the testing, and fifth would be the deployment. Then the sixth one would be the maintenance, right? So now I think you have some kind of understanding on what is software development life cycle is, right? So now let's see what is secure software development life cycle is, right? The secure software development life cycle is kind of a systematic process that integrates security into each and every phase of the software development life cycle. Now, we have 6 phases in software development life cycle. In secure software development life cycle, it will integrate security aspects for each and every phase. So so the main primary goal is to ensure that you have considered security into your phases. So it should not be off the dot. Like most of the people, what they do is like they consider the security aspects after you develop and test the software. But it should not be an afterthought. So you have to consider the security aspect while you're executing your software in each and every phase. So now there may be BAs, right? So you all know there are 2 requirements types. One is functional and non-functional. So even though you do traditional method or agile or any types of project management methodology, so there are 2 requirement types. One is functional and other one is non-functional. So if I ask you, the second poll would be, this security aspect is it a functional requirement or a non-functional requirement? Right. So sure, I will publish the second poll. So now we have 2 requirements types. One is functional and non-functional. So we need to know whether the security aspect is kind of a functional or a non-functional requirement. So let's see how the audience see on that aspect. Hello, Shwara.
Hello, yes, I think there's a bit of a delay. Just give me a few minutes. Yes.
So when it comes to like secure software development lifecycle, let me share one of my experience now. When I was working as an associate lead or a lead, so actually this secure software development lifecycle was new to us. So those days, like maybe like 8 or 7 years back. So there was audit in our previous company. So now they were auditing about this SSDLC. So now it was kind of a new stuff for us. Now they were asking, have you considered security aspects on requirement phase, design phase? So on those days, like we were not actually considering this secure software development lifecycle. So we were considering only the software development lifecycle. So it was new to us. So I presume that most of you are also not considering these security aspects. So that's why we have started this session with the secure software development lifecycle. Now the poll is there. There are only 17 responses. So it's nice to see that people are getting interacted with the poll. So let's keep that momentum going until we finish this session. So majority say it's false, right? Yes, correct. It's not a functional requirement, but 30% still say it's a functional requirement. No, it's not a functional requirement because security is kind of a non-functional requirement, right? So, but security is not the only one which has the non-functional aspect, but there will be like several other aspects which you need to consider on when it comes to non-functional stuff, right? So now you know what is secure software development lifecycle, right? So now let's see why it is important of integrating security into the development process, right? In most of the traditional software development processes, it often addresses security concerns at the end of the development cycle. So that's why I said, so most of the traditional software processes, so they address the security concerns at the end of the development cycle. So which will lead to incur vulnerabilities and it will increase the risk of the project. So when you consider the security aspect while you are in the development life cycle, in the other hand, so you will emphasize proactive security measures on the project. So when you consider this in each and every phase, you will be proactively considering on the security aspect of the project. Then let's say it will again reduce the security breaches. Now, if you search on the internet, there are a lot of companies where they had security breaches. So if you consider this secure software development life cycle at the start of the project until it ends, so you will be able to reduce the security breaches and you will be able to reduce the risk of the project as well. So ensuring SDLC, like secure software and security requires focusing on how the application operates and how developers run. Now, when you develop a software, there should be a functional requirement. So you need to collate this functional requirement and the security aspects together in order to write the application code. So in that case, what you will do is like, anyway, when you're doing the development or the design or in each and every stage, you will be considering the security aspect of the project, right? So when you talk about security, like security should be part of teams activities. Like when it comes to teams, it's not a part of only on technical people like architects, tech leads, and software engineers. It should be a part of everyone in the team, right? Because like for the application development, all the team members, like QA, PM, BA, everyone will be contributing for the application development. So these days, like if you check on the most of the teams in companies, so there should be kind of a cultural shift within your teams, right? So if you do a cultural change within your teams, so what will gain is like the result will be in a very positive way. In the end, the result will be positive, right? But what's happening actually right now is like most of the teams, they're not considering these security aspects, and at the end of the project, they'll be getting a lot of negative stuff, right? So the importance of secure software development lifecycle. So implement security controls. So in each and every phase of the software development lifecycle, you have to implement security controls. Then what will happen? So when you improve these security controls, automatically your software quality will get improved. So in order to check software quality, there are a lot of tools available. So you can use either tools, you can do uh, code analysis. So there are a lot of methods which you can uh, get the software quality in a great manner. Then you will reduce the business risk, because like you will be dealing with sensitive information of customers and who are the employees, like based on the domain, you will be dealing with sensitive information. So if you consider this security aspects, you will be protecting sensitive information of that particular custom, right? Then constantly improve software security. So when you jump into the secure software development lifecycle, so you'll be constantly improve the software security, because even in the maintenance phase also, you can do kind of VAPT test, and you can improve your software quality, and you can if there are any vulnerabilities incurred, you can fix those stuff. Then the other aspect is you need to get the security requirements. So as business analysts, so when there's a requirement, functional requirement, so if that particular client has specific security requirements, you need to consider those as well. Then respond to vulnerabilities. So vulnerabilities will be identified by maybe DevOps teams. There are a lot of scanning tools you can use. So you can respond to that vulnerabilities after identified from the whatever the tool you use. So now I have covered these two slides. So let me now, you need to know in each and every phase how we are going to secure, how we are going to consider the security aspects, and why do you need to consider security aspects. So those stuff, Sudarshan will take you through the each and every phase, and he will share his valuable experience with you guys. Okay, so Sudarshan, over to you.
Yeah, hi, hello. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Shelan was discussing all the topics up till now. So now we will dive deep into every stages of SSDLC, which is secure software development lifecycle, right? So we know our classic SDLC, which is composed of like 6 major stages. Now when we consider secure SDLC, we don't have any extra phases, but each phases will concentrate more on the security aspect or the perspective of that phase, right? So it remains similar to the SDLC: planning, analysis, designing, implementation, testing, deployment, and maintenance. But we will be spending extra care on the security aspect on each of the stages. So we will go into each stages one by one. So maybe Shelan was asking a few questions as a poll, and I will try to have another poll for you guys just to have a quick interaction. Maybe Shwara, can you post your question?
Yes, sure. Proceed,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Okay. Good. So let's say you all mostly familiar with SQL injection and XSS kind of security threats, right? So can you guys try to tell at which stage these things are detected, or like should be detected as a should be detected in secure SDLC? Uh, Maybe if I am correct, the polls are already posted, right? I see the answers quite already on it. So I will go on that summary. So I see 33% of the audience have said like it is on testing phase, right? And the next highest answer is 21%. It is on implementation. So actually, your answers are mostly correct. Like testing is fine, implementation is fine, deployment is also fine, right? So now we will go through the slides and we will understand more accurately why it is more appropriate to have it on implementation rather than the other stages, right? So we will go through the other slides. So the answer is implementation, but when we are on implementation slide, we will discuss it more. So security features. Now, mostly in SDLC, we try to the first stage is planning and requirement gathering. So usually we try to gather all the user requirements at this stage. Most of the time, security features are taken for granted, or like most they are not taken into the consideration. But security features has to be the important features we need to capture during our requirement analysis phases. So we need to let know the developers who are working on the software also what is the security requirement, like training and awareness. Like there are OWASP top 10 security things, and also like SQL injection, XSS, like most common ones we need to let know the developers, like we need to train and make them aware about this common threats that we need to avoid in our development. So that is more like training and awareness for the developers. And the security requirement and the features, so we need to see like requirements, like client outfront request some requirements, like they might need a OTP, like even though the password is there, they should have another layer of authentication that the correct person, they like not only the password, there's another password is sent, like MA, multi-factor authentication, right? So those things are like defined by the user himself to protect the system. Then after we need like encryptions, like these are like fundamentally as a developers we should enforce in our application. The PID data will not be kept unencrypted. So the when we have a data API, like the profile API or something like that, very least information is shared likewise, right? So those are like requirement of the security aspect of the system. And then the most interesting thing is user abuse stories. So we are very familiar with the user stories, right, to define the requirements. But then this abuse story is a nicer way to tell or think ahead what are the places this our data can be compromised or our system can be compromised. So at this point we need to consider the like real malicious users. Also we need to consider some like extra curiosity users who try to have a fun around the things and the APIs and explore the thing. And also we need to be really take care both of them or even more kind of people. So we need to list what are the ways our system can be compromised while developing the features. So this is on security features. So if you go to the design review, so this is another main point where we need to enforce the security aspect in our SDLC, because this is the place. Uh, this is a if we do a mistake at this stage, it is the most costliest stage for us to get back to our normal track, because most of the time the architectural review, like if we have a flow in our basic design, the main architectural design, we have less option to fix the problem in a later stages. Mostly the result is like rewrite the application in a different way, like so architectural review is the main and the important place we need to enforce. Now let's say we have a DM zone, so we need to have that proper understanding before developing our application. So all the APIs has to go through a load balancer or a API gateway. Our backends won't be exposed to public internet. There will be a filter on front, or our database layer is only accessible from the backend layer, network segregation. So these are more like architectural wise, you have to enforce these things, otherwise it is more costly to correct them in a later phases. And the principle of least privilege, like now uh, we don't uh, allow we don't start with allowing all. uh, I mean, not disabling, but we start with allowing, like, at the point zero you have no access to anything, so you start giving access to each resources. So that way you only start giving the access to the required uh, features. And the thread modeling, so this is more like when you have the software or the product being put into the usage, you need to see where the threads are going to come in. Like you need to model your threads. So there are like nice graphical ways to do this, like thread understanding the thread vector, like which is the most targeted data by this set of users, like the list of users are being targeted by the some marketing community or like some hackers, like that. So we need to understand which are the user group and targeting at which data. So we need to protect them based on their like the next topic is also more closer to explaining that part. You need to understand the attack surface, like which user is at which surface and which kind of data is can be accessible through this surface, and what are the mechanisms to protect them. Like we can have a HTTPS, like let's say some applications are mostly working on intranet, some applications over the internet, like you need to for both the situation you have different kind of attacks and models you need to develop for you to protect the application very effectively and successfully, because we also need to work with the time, because we don't have the whole time to spend over engineering the security. So it is always wise to model this two part, then you design it a good system. So by doing all of this, you naturally arrive at security by default. Like you don't want to carry a separate thing. You need to embrace the security, and then the security become the first to your application. Like let's say you need to have HTTPS, you don't start with HTTP. So likewise you need to have the security aspect as default, not like adding on top of the feature, but like you start with that. And also the lockdown easy attack paths. So very commonly, let's say you have some basic ports, like mostly the common way of attackers attack the application. Let's say you have the common ports open, accidentally your default username and password of that application database server is active accidentally. So what happened? Some bots running, they scan for the port. If they find a 200 good successful ping, they will try the other password try. So these are the very common ways of the attackers trying to penetrate to the system. So we need to close down, like, you don't open the all ports, only the required ports. You disable all the every time the software is implemented, you disable the root access, the default username, password, and all like that. So these are the things you need to consider while you are designing your applications. So the other thing is another early place to detect any security things are like, this is the static code analysis. So while you are implementing, right? So your code can have so I'm going to come back to the poll. So why I am telling implementation is the most appropriate prey to face to take care of the SQL injection and things like that. We have good enough static code analysis tools like Sona and other things, so they can easily detect these things. So this is the place you should we should be able to detect most of the threads before we even add into our main source code, right? That is the main target of static code analysis. While on the development itself, you try to detect them and fix them as soon as fix them. Then fix the issues without introducing to the product. So you don't commit it. So if you don't commit it, it won't be getting merged to the your main branch, so that it won't go into the feature or deploy. Like, that way you can take extra care. Like even without your knowledge, something is not added to the code. There is a static code analysis tool will help you to detect the problem. And the other thing is the secret detecting. So we shouldn't have our secrets being placed in our code and things like that. So actually these things also we need to detect here. And also the vice sourcing. So this is a little bit of a term I try to put down here. So we are using today's world, we are developing application, but most of the time we are using many third-party dependencies, right? So we have like otherwise it is very time consuming for us to develop everything from scratch. So when we are using third-party dependencies, the libraries and things like that, we are easily exposed to any vulnerabilities, because one of their tool can have a vulnerability, and then that vulnerability will be easily added to our system. I believe everybody is aware of this famous log4j vulnerability that encountered Java nearly. So these kind of things, we need to white source our open source libraries or third party or other libraries that they are well protected, like, they are not exposed to any vulnerability or like that. So this is that phase. And then testing. So this is the so as I stated here, it is late to implement security at this stage, but it is not too late, right? So we shouldn't really have a lot of security concern at this stage. We should have detected and rectified all the issues before these stages, right? So here, if ever we have, we are going to detect them through our black box testing, and also the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So these are, I think the words are very self-explanatory. So we need to go through this this thing and understand is there any problem. So it is also good to hire some vulnerability assessment and penetration test outside the developers. At ADL we do practice, like we call like VAPT, like it's a good practice. So you have experts in security, so they have tools and techniques to test your application that they are not having any security concerns. So then you get a report from that team, you rectify that, and then you go again for another session likewise. So this is a very good practice that you get another expertise group will have a look onto your code and, like, the application vulnerabilities. And sorry, if we go to the last, I have merged the deployment and maintenance together because we are pretty much like uh, deployment is the now you took enough care and built your application, right? Now you're going to deploy your application in an infrastructure, but let's say if this infrastructure is compromised or having security threats, like some SSH ports are there, like some backdoors are there, like you can have a outbound uh, call, like TCP call to the public network from your backend layer. So if you have such a problem in your infrastructure, all the effort that you put into your product is not useful, because your infrastructure is already having some concern about this security. So we need to take care our infrastructure is also well protected and well adhered to the security aspect. And it is always best to employ any IAC, like infrastructure as code tools, to deploy the infrastructure and likewise, right? And then there is the incident procedure and review. Now whenever we encounter a problem, we need to record them, review them, and to include in our like in new development or a new product, we like learn the lessons, like and we don't repeat ourselves there. And dependency maintenance. Now, this is the exact point we were discussing in the other slide, but here in the maintenance phase, it is more important. Like, a dependency could be in a good condition today, but later on, after some stages, we have good computers who can hack something, like, generate some prime number and break the security. So, like, now SHA-1 was valid, then it became invalid. Now then so likewise, you need to check the dependencies also in a regular interval, or like in a better interval, that you still make sure all your dependencies still up to mark and doesn't have any vulnerability. So we have covered our 6 phases, 5 phases in security SDLC. So now we will move to Sudath for the rest of the slides.
Yeah, thank you, Sudharshan. Let me take the screen. I think you can guys see my screen now, right? Sudarshan, can you confirm?
Not yet, maybe.
Not that,
Okay. Now?
It's coming, I guess.
It's coming.
They're
yes.
small like. Yeah, can see now.
You can see now, no? Okay. I think I'm in no presentation. Correct me, Shelan.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sudharshan and Shelan. They have explained well about the SDLC importance and phases of SLDC. And today here I am going to talk about benefits of SSDLC. Mainly, there are so many benefits with this approach, but here I have categorized it to 4 key factors. First one, you can see it will be improve the security of project and will be reduce the cost of project when using the secure software development life cycle. Also, uh, compliance will be improved with the SSL DLC, and increase the customer satisfaction also will be increased with the SSL DLC. Right, simply let's see how is going to it by one. Here I have get the examples. I have here listed few ways to improve the security. We can early identify and mitigate the security, and we can use some secure testing approaches to the project. Also, early identify and mitigate risk mean like Sudarshan said, some in phases requirement gathering or design phases, we can identify the risk of the project and we can apply some strategies on that, and it will be a good practice, and it will be a benefit for the project, right? And also something like we can use some industrial standards, and some when we with the development time also we can do some add some configurations related to the security. It will be a reason to improve the security of project. Next one is yeah, how will be effect for the reduce the cost of project. Like if you all know, if we got some any data breaches of the project, it will be a reason to the increase the cost of project. But if we will use some proper secure mechanisms and proper secure approaches, it will be deduct the cost of project, right? Also, some of minimization of downtime, so some downtime or any disruptions will be a reason to reduce the cost of project. And here I have attached few items also, but I'm not going to explain each by one because this is very simple and everyone can understand, right? And I think I move to the next one. Yeah, this is the one I have. I think everyone can understand this one because the proper project I mean with the proper security approaches, and we did it is very it is very at the high level security. It will be automatically increase the customer base satisfaction. Like they are using some authorization authentication model, and the data, personal data or sensitive data will be protected for everyone. Then the customer satisfaction will be increased automatically. And sometimes we can see there are security best practices, I mean security approaches will be transparent to each client or user end, then will be a reason to the increase the customer satisfaction. For example, I remember, I think you all everyone know about Apple product, it's Apple is introducing many products and many services, and we all know MacBook, iPad, also iPhone and iCloud also have more security levels, right? In that case, the Apple customer base is very high, and
So that just a minute. I think the slide is not changed, I guess.
Sorry, it's
The
not
slide
changed.
is not changed. Sure.
Yes.
Which slide we can see like benefits of secure software development lifecycle, right?
Actually, I can't see anything as of now.
Okay.
I cannot see the presentation. So if you
Is
could
it
just
okay, Sudath, is it okay if I share the screen? So you can continue.
Yeah, sure. Please.
Let me share. I think maybe there's some network lag. Yeah. What about now? Sure.
Yeah, now I
Yes.
can see. Thank you,
Yeah,
Shelan.
now.
Right. Okay. So you were in the next slide,
Yeah.
right? This one, right?
I think yes. I want to go to the third slide. No, go to the next one.
This one, no?
No, I'm using the
This.
this one. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas I was in the example with the Apple products. You all know Apple has a more customer base because their security level is at a high level, right? And another example, I remember I saw that in the internet in 2013 on Yahoo got some data breaches. It is around 3 billion around account, and some hackers has still some attack to their database and get some user details, password, or personal data, right? On that time, their customer base was very decreased. That was a reason to the decrease the customer satisfaction, right? Both are some example for the customer satisfaction. Basically, I want to say the SSDLC will be a reason to increase the customer satisfaction, right? Next, I think here I have let's simply explain the benefits of the SSDLC, but in the next slide, you want to go to the next slide, Shelan? Yeah, this one. Actually, I want to share my experience related to the SSDLC. Few years ago, I was involved to a mobile app, and actually, it was we have developed the mobile app to the managed data warehouse system. The main objective of that project was the client is doing something like that. They are taking some third-party clients documentaries mean sensitive data. They are getting the sensitive data, and they doing something managing and storing and access through the mobile app, right? We have developed that app, and in the initial stage, actually, the security resource is high level, right? And what we did for that, I remember we did some training sessions, and we have some we have educated the developers and project team members. That was a very helpful for us on that time. And next part I remember that project has so many sensitive data. Therefore, we have to add the proper authentication and authorization model. We all know, I think everyone know about some industry protocol we have, like OpenID Connect, and we using some O20, and in that time actually we use JW cross token validation, and additionally added the Lambda function to encrypt data, and we use some crypto.js also. And finally, end-to-end user was authenticated and validated. In that time, actually, our target was achieved, and that was very, on that time, it's very good strategy on that time, right? And otherwise, I remember we use some cross prevent on unauthorized access to resource course we used on that time, and it was protect against the cross-site scripting. And another one, in startup time, there is not any DevSecOps approaches on that organization. But after getting this project, they have invested in the DevSecOps approach. It was helpful to help to the enhance the security of projects. Next one. You can see here I have put in identity. Yeah, identity vulnerabilities in the code, then mitigate the third-party attacks. This is something like actually this is very specific for the mobile developers. But more I remember most of times some mobile apps when we are developing mobile apps, we have missed to implement these aspects, right? Like here I have listed few items: app integrity, SSL pinning, some detecting developer environments, like that, right? Actually, what is the main benefit of this vulnerabilities technology? Like app integrity it is using to some third-party hackers are trying to modify our application. Then app integrity will be prevent that, right? That apparently will be a help to the prevent third-party mobile modifications, right? And SSL pinning is some standard. It's also same thing. It can be prevent some stealing data through the communication, like that. And detecting developer means we have used some emulators, and our app was not supported the emulators in production mode. And detecting rooted and jailbroken devices also the same. Some rooted device was not supported to the run our app. And also another approach, last time Sudharshan also discussed this one. We use some encryption mechanisms, like when we are transferring data with using HTTP or something. But every API calls also we have encrypted. That was very a good approach on that time, and we can validate end-to-end user using encryption mechanism also. I think I have a full on this. Sure, can you do that?
Yes, send it now.
Okay, hope you can. Hope you can answer one. I think I have added a few answers here. Okay, let's see 10 seconds, no, Shelan, because we have a limited time now.
Yeah, so maybe like 30 to 60 seconds we can.
Okay, have any other questions related to my case study? Okay, I will actually the answer is most of 90 people says absolutely yes, it is correct. That one is the correct answer. Maybe it has getting some 99%, but it's depend on the requirement. My thought is it's depend on the requirement, but under this question, I think first one is the correct one. Thank you everyone for that response. And Shelana, can you move to the next slide? Okay. Yeah, here I'm going to explain about the best practices of the SDLC. But most of practices has explained Shelan and Sudharshan properly. But here I need to highlight a few items. You can see here I have added a shift mindset towards the DevSecOps side. right? And nowadays we can see most of organizations are tend to the use DevSecOps side, because the DevSecOps is something like they are working separately and allocate resources separately, and their main purpose is achieve to the security side of any software, right? Then I have added here that is the one of the best practices nowadays. And here also other one, take advantage of threat modeling. That one I think properly explained by Sudharshan. Another one, establish a secure design and requirement. That one also covered in the phases of the Sudharshan. And next one, yeah, implement code review. Yeah, implement code review is a very best practices. I remember when we are doing some coding, and we are doing some peer reviews and lead reviews, right? On that time we can see some, we can use some, we have third-party libraries to achieve some security, like we can use some Sonalint or something. We have used some actually from my side I use some Zona also to improve the code quality, like that. And manage potential vulnerabilities mean, like in my case study I talk about this one, like we have some risk assessment, like we call it a VA. And uh, we can do some how do we mitigate those risks, like how to modify, for example, as a mobile application, how to prevent the modification third parties, like that, right? We are the manage potential vulnerabilities mean we should cover the all securities of the software application, like that. Actually, I want to tell here some of best practices, and I need to share. I have shared some of my experience related as a case study, and benefits of the. Simply, I explain some benefits of the SSDLC. I think that's why I have done here. Shelan, can you do some conclusion, please?
So now I guess like you got a lot of idea on, maybe you were aware on this software development life cycle, but in terms of like secure software development life cycle, I guess like you got some kind of idea. So as I said you earlier when I start the session, so even if you search a lot of search on the articles in internet, so it will give a lot of different types of interpretation. But so what we did was like this session is based on totally on our experience. So in a conclusion, I think like when it comes to secure software development life cycle, it is kind of a critical framework for building robust, secure, and resilient software. So by embedding security into each and every phase of this software development life cycle, so we can create a more secure digital landscape in our environment. Because like I guess like everyone is from software engineering background, and we are working on a software company. So considering this secure software development life cycle, I think it will reduce our time, so it will reduce the costs, and it will reduce our risk as well. So we are not going to take much time. So basically, thanks a lot for joining the session. Thank you for your valuable time given for this session. So this is the very first session, so under this special series. So if you have any kind of questions, so we are pretty much there to answer those. So if you have any questions, just put on the Q&A chat box. Thank you.
So before we wrap up, a big thank you to our speakers today for sharing their expertise with us today. We appreciate your time and knowledge, and thank you for all those who attended. As Shelan said, this is the first session for this series, and there is upcoming sessions as well. So I hope you all join for that as well. And yes, have a great day, and hope to see you all in the future podium sessions. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.